Anine, I'm Sarah,
And I'm Sky.
and we are going to give tobacco to our elder of Georgina Island, and we're going to interview her today.
Okay.
What was your favorite thing to do as a child on Georgina Island?
As a child, I would like to go to the shore and use a toboggan and a sleigh to go down the hill.
How did you cross back and forth when there was no ferry boat?
In a canoe or a rowboat. There was no motorized vehicles here then.
How would you get over in the winter?
We would wait until the ice was really strong, and we would walk over, and then we would sometimes take horses and a sleigh, and we would pull a sleigh to get our groceries, and that's the way we did it. We walked.
Did everyone speak Ojibwa?
When I was younger, yes, absolutely. There was no English spoken unless we had to.
What are some of the changes you have noticed when you were a child?
Oh, many things, because it's the 21st century, and we have motorized vehicles here, which we didn't have before, and we have hydro, and we have water in our homes. Before, we used to have to carry it in pails and bring it up from the lake.
Did we have many visitors from the mainland?
Not really, unless it was absolutely necessary.
What kinds of community events took place when you were a child?
Many things, really, considering it was that long ago. We would have activities like little concerts, and we had fairs, and we had social evenings, and we had something called pie socials, and we were very active in the school. We kept busy because we had to use our brain. We didn't have to just press a button and say, what's this, and have the magic machine give you the answer. We used our brains.
Was there a lot more powwows as you were younger than there is now?
No, not when I was younger. We went to them. I don't ever remember having one here a long time ago because of the we couldn't express ourselves. We couldn't even express our language. It was suppressed, so we didn't have powwows because it wasn't allowed. But we could have had it, I suppose, if we wanted to. But we wanted to grow with the years and the community.
Has it changed a lot over the years over here?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. As I said, we didn't have cars here. We didn't have garbage pickup. We didn't have garbage. The garbage we had, we used and reused and recycled in our gardens. And we carried our water, and we had to go to the mainland for our medical purposes.
What did you do when you couldn't get over to the mainland for food?
We ate a lot of fish, and we grew our own vegetables, and we did deer meat, and we ate rabbits. And it was all very nourishing, clean, and we survived, and it was all very good.
What would you do when there were storms over here and like there was not much? Was there good shelter?
Oh, we had our own homes.
Yeah.
We were in homes, and a storm is a storm is a storm. We enjoyed storms. We loved them. Yeah. Because in native lore, we appreciate a storm and live with it, because the Creator gives you a storm when we need it. If it's for snow, rain, or a good wind, and you make use of it. You don't hide from it. And I was married to a brilliant man who was also a teacher, musician, and a marketing executive. So we were what do they call it? Bosom buddies. we were spiritually connected. And a lot of the people knew him here, so we were very good. He taught at the Ontario College of Art, and when he brought the work home of the students, we used to mark them together. So and I've always kept up with the times. And I went back to university to teach these children the language. Even though I'm fluent in it, I had to go back to learn how to parse. Well, you know what parsing is, to take it apart and to make it workable for the children. And I found it more difficult to tear apart my language than to put it together, because it was so easy for me to speak it. And
were you more connected with everybody on the island as you were as a child than today?
yes, very much so. We cared. We cared about the people. And we would visit more. And if our visit came in the afternoon and it went into supper time, it was quite natural for us to say, you'll have to stay for, would you like to stay for supper? And that meant a whole evening of being with people that we loved and liked. And we didn't have TV. There's no TV. We had a radio that was battery operated. So in a way, when you look at it now, when I talk to you children, it must sound primitive. You know, short of the cave, we were pretty primitive. But we didn't know it, we didn't mind, and we liked it. We loved it. This was home. And I try to tell my children, any one of them, when you get an education, go away and come back and enjoy your home. Get the experience. Home will always be here.
When you were young, like, did you have, are you still connected with all the elders that live over here?
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you ever miss some of them that have passed away?
Very much, very much. You look around and it almost sometimes brings me to tears, because it's number one, you're lonely, and number two, you're at the latter stages of enjoying your home and your life, but you make the best of it. Of course, I miss them a lot, and the language, I don't want to die, and the keepers are slowly dying.
Would the keepers have to pass down all the memories to the young, like, to the generations, like my generation, like
We
our
would hope.
generation?
We would hope so. Yeah, I hope so. And those are what we have, are the memories, and they're very precious. And we try to pass them down as best we can. I know I have an advantage being at the school and teaching the children, and I've always been so grateful that I was able to do that, and I'm still doing it. I plan to go back in September. So.
What would you do when the sun went down? Like, was there electricity, like, to have light, or would you use fires?
No, we did not have hydro here till in the 50s. And I was a youngster then, and we had what was called kerosene, which is kind of an oil. We had oil lamps. I have one up there. It's an oil lamp. You filled it with coal oil, and it had a little glass chimney, and it had a wick. You lit that. That was our light. And we studied with it, we ate with it, but everybody went to bed early to save oil.
Did you help with the gardening at all?
Yes, we did. We did. We knew we had to help with the gardening. Grandma or Grandpa or whoever was at home, or Mom, they wouldn't say to us, get out there and do the hoeing or the raking. We just knew we had to do it. I couldn't say, well, I want to finish watching something on TV, or just a minute, somebody's trying to call me. We couldn't do that. It was just that we had to do these things. Otherwise, probably your food would rot and you wouldn't have anything to eat. We just had to do it. And if we ran out of water to make a pot of tea, it could have been your turn to go and get some water from the lake, and otherwise we wouldn't have tea.
It'd be like your instincts.
No, a survival. If you want a cup of tea, what do you do?
You go and get yourself a cup of tea.
Yeah, but how do you make tea with what?
Water.
Yeah, and the water's down there. So you had to go fill up a pail, and people carried the pail, maybe two. Even when I was little, I carried water. You know, you had to go get the water, and we had old wood stoves where you put the kettle on, let it boil, then you make your tea. And you couldn't just say, "Oh, I don't want to." If you said that, then you were the one that suffered, because you want the tea. If you want the tea, you get up and make it. You know, it was just, that's the way it was, and it's true. And we didn't mind. We really didn't mind, because it was, number one, it was something to do, and you really wanted your tea. And we ate a lot of porridge, and you had to make porridge with water. So it was good. We had to do it, but we didn't mind. We didn't mind.
Do you like the last century better or this century?
Well, you know what? That's a good question. I love the comforts of being modern, but I would love to go back to the humble beginnings when I was born.
Miigwech, Auntie. Thank you for letting us interview you.
Kaya miigwech.
Miigwech, Auntie. Thank you.
Miigwech kibishayan. Miigwech.